What's happening, guys? So this video here is going to be real short and sweet. Really, all I wanted to cover was a cleaning slash changing of a bioactive substrate. So in Luna's 6-foot terrarium, what I did is I took out half of it, replaced it with brand new clean jungle dirt with a cocoa fiber mix, one of the homemade blends I like to make to keep everything nice and fresh. With that being said, bioactive, a lot of people say it's completely self-sustaining. You shouldn't clean it, you leave it, let it do its thing. However, she's been in this same substrate for probably a solid 8-10 months. I would recommend changing it maybe once a year, like not a full deep clean, full change, but I do recommend doing at least half. So that's what I did. I took out half the substrate completely, all the way down to the bottom, and I replaced half of it. I took the other half, I raked it, mixed it all together real good. That way I'm not losing all the springtail and isopods, all the microfauna I've already pre-established in there. First of all, it's super expensive. Second of all, you know, it takes time for the colonies to really get established. And now that they're set, I kind of want to leave them and let them do their thing. Don't want to lose too much, and I don't want to make too much work for myself. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how I did that deep clean, how I did that transformation. And then I also do want to do a quick walkthrough. I know I've showed you guys this room a few times already, but I got some new plants and I laid things out a little bit differently. So I do want to share that with you guys. I think it looks really cool. I have a lot of fun chilling in there. I'm able to use it as a workspace when I'm editing these videos and filming them. Also, I'm able to just chill in there. It's a nice zen area. So, you know, reading a book, doing whatever, playing games on my phone. I really do enjoy it. So I hope you guys enjoy it too. And you can kind of see that fern peeking in the background. Before I waste too much time, let's get started. So what I'm doing right now is I'm taking out half of the terrarium substrate and I'm going to be replacing it with some jungle mix, which is a nice fir and sphagnum peat moss mix. It's really ideal for a lot of bioactive terrariums, such as stuff for frogs, geckos, toads, snakes, tegus, whatever you decide to use a bioactive terrarium for. The reason I'm doing this actually is because accidentally, instead of putting the mister on cycle, we left it on. So this soil is absolutely soaked. Like, we were pulling it out and just squeezing it like that, which is absolutely disgusting and should not happen. So that whole side, what I did is I actually was wringing it out into a bucket, and most of this stuff is still very humid, but the reason I'm keeping it is because I've got a fully bioactive, like self-sustaining blend right now. Like, I've got springtails in here. I've got 3 different types of isopods, everything from dwarf whites to powder blues and a few other ones. With that being said though, I really don't want to lose all the colonies because 1, they're expensive, 2, they're already established. So again, this side here, I'm going to replace it with the jungle moss. I've also got another substrate blend that I'll show you in a moment. I'm going to mix the 2 together, fill up this side. Once this side is full, I'm going to rake it all together and just kind of blend it and spread it throughout. So the microorganisms will get a chance to kind of get a feel for everywhere. Hopefully, now that I wring that out, and now that I'm going to be mixing in half the terrarium's worth of new substrate, it should balance out the humidity in the soil and hopefully have it just right around that 60 to 80% for Luna. So with that being said, yeah, just stay tuned and I'll be showing you guys kind of how I do this. Now the reason I'm using this jungle mix is because not only does it hold humidity very well, but the reason it's so good for bioactive terrariums is because if you actually take a look at it, like if you just zoom in on this substrate, there are so many just pieces of bark and dried up leaves and stuff like that already in it with real live moss. So the nice thing is it actually works, number 1, as nutrient for the plants, and then number 2, as food for the microorganisms. So it's truly a great product. I swear by it. I use it in all, well, my two bioactive vivarium, such as this one here, and then that poison dart frog one that's just right behind you. So yeah, now that I got this in, I'm gonna go grab my other substrate. I'm gonna blend it all together and hopefully have a good solid finished product. All right, so this is the other substrate. Kind of slipped my mind earlier, but it's Eco Earth, so it's a loose coconut fiber substrate. This is another thing I use quite frequently. Like I'll usually pair it with the jungle mix, which is why I already had it on hand when I mix it in, just to give it a little bit more volume, give it a little bit more blend, and help it hold the humidity a little bit better. This stuff here over time as well, it does get packed down and it does hold the burrows a little bit nicer than the dirt where it just kind of crumbles. So again, it gives it some nice volume, and since it's very dry and very loose, I'm really hoping that it's going to really balance out the humidity in the substrate. If you take a quick look, I did throw in a few more wandering Jews in this corner here. I used the very humid substrate as a nice base layer for them, so they'll continue to get their humidity because they've been doing very well in the other vivarium, which has about 100% humidity pretty steadily. So yes, I'm just going to go ahead and throw in this whole bag here. This is 8 dry quarts. This one was 24, but I only used half of it because the other half is in that tank behind me. So I'm really hoping this balances it out enough. Usually I try and go at least up to this line here, which is about 5, probably honestly from top to bottom, about 6 inches at most of substrate. It gives her plenty of space to burrow. And it already is looking very nice and promising. Like, take a look at her. I don't know if you noticed, but every time I start, you know, playing around in her terrarium, she always gets super excited, almost like she wants to play with me or kill me. I'm not quite sure. Actually, this right here is just drying up that humidity, and it is amazing. This is absolutely amazing. Hello, Luna. Hey, babe. Hey. Came down just to go back up. But like, if you take a look here, it really does give it a nice, like, more of a sandy texture. And since it is just so dry, it's really balancing out the humidity, and I'm super pleased. I was kind of fearing I may have to kind of throw everything out, and I didn't want to because, like I said, I already got the pre-established colonies of microorganisms. I might have to come out and take her out and give her a bath, because she was running through all that dry stuff, and she just got misted down, so she's very moist. Hey, look at that big smile, that big Tegu smile. Yeah, this really, really, truly works wonders here. Now, if you just want to bring that camera over here a little bit, I do want to show you kind of what I'm talking about with all the microorganisms I already have in here. It's not going to go back anymore because of the stand, but if you take a look, like in there, I don't know if you could even see it here or if you really need some light, but it's just, it's covered in springtails in there. There's one of the dwarf whites. Actually, I was kind of moving it around, so they're probably all trying to hide from me now. But I do have this piece of cork bark, which is actually quite moist, but the reason I have it in there is because it's slowly just breaking apart and deteriorating over time, and actually the isopods are using it as food. So I haven't dropped any leaf litter or anything like that in here for probably months, to be completely honest with you. So it's really just been completely self-sustaining this whole time. Actually, I haven't even cleaned it. I don't do any spot treatments or anything like that in here, due to the fact that actually tegus, they don't like to, you know, poo where they live. They're very smart and sanitary in that sense. Like if you take a look here, I don't know if you guys see that isopod crawling around in my hand. He's trying to hide. They really don't like the light. Huh. He's gonna play dead. That's okay. Alrighty, so truly I am quite satisfied with the way this is coming along. You can take a look here, like if I try and squeeze it, nothing comes out. Before it was dripping. Now there's absolutely nothing. On the bright side of all this, even though the soil is so damp and humid, Luna's actually in the middle of shedding. So it's been, well, it worked out to be a little bit more beneficial that she's in a shedding process, so it's helping free up that skin that's stuck on her. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. Oh, so grateful. You saved the day, babes.
Good.
It's very humid down there, so let's clear some of this down as a space layer. Oh, okay. Why don't you like this?
With the sound.